Welcome to the Toffee Blue, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the match preview for Everton versus Newcastle at Goodison on the 30th of December, or it's supposed to be. As we know, since I last recorded the show, we previewed the Burnley game that didn't even end up happening. That got postponed. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that this one could be as well, but we're still going to look ahead to it as even by our standards, no matter how miserable this season's been, I think we're all due a game of football now. I think we've had a couple called off, and I think people's appetites are coming back now. Owen, how are you feeling going into this one? Obviously, Newcastle drew with Manchester United last night. How are you feeling going into
it? They gave it a go. Man United were very poor, from being kind. But let's not get this mixed up. Newcastle are a very, very poor team. And I can normally come into this with a bit of, this, that and the other, but they're just really bad. And if we even perform at a default level and we have some players back, we should have enough to beat Newcastle, because I'm not seeing anything from the season in any game to suggest they're going in the right direction, because they just can't keep a clean sheet. And it is the make like us, but I think that we've got a little bit more about us than them. And I think just a solid performance should be enough.
That being said, we haven't really seen enough solid performances this season. I mean, the Arsenal game and Chelsea game were good platforms to build on, but we need to see that more regularly, don't we?
I look back to the Norwich game, and I think it was about September, and we had a few players out that day. I think Rondon was up front, and I don't think Richarlison played, but
he didn't.
We still in that game were very comfortable about our two strikers, and it was two. It could have been a bit. Norwich didn't do anything, and Newcastle kind of remind me of that a bit. I think if we have a similar team, I still think we should be beating Newcastle Rome in their current predicament. Obviously, that can all change if they go out and spend a few quid in January and book the team out a bit. I think it could be a bit better, but as we speak at the moment, I think St. Maximin and Wilson pulled up last night, didn't he?
And Wilson did. I don't think Maximin scored, but I didn't actually watch most of that game.
Well, I'm sure he came off, and it only don't know he'll be available. But if they aren't playing, we have to win the game no matter who we put out.
If we lose, I was saying this, we deserve to get relegated if we lose at home to Newcastle. Like even mentioned, a more depleted Newcastle than I thought it was going to be.
Despite the, because I know Wilson, but Wilson's injured every other week. But say Maximum, I'm sure that assessing him and they're not sure if he's going to pull through. And if they aren't playing and we get beat, the mood, the tone, the full process of Brown Benitez will change again, and his job will be under huge scrutiny again if we lose to that, no matter who we're playing.
I mean, regardless of Benitez, he should have the book thrown at him if he loses to Newcastle. So should the players, though. I think if they allow the standards to drop that low.
Yeah, I know, but you can't sack 11 players at once, so you can. It's easier to sack the manager.
And yeah, it is, but we've seen them get away with murder with like 4 managers before Benitez, like just hiding behind them with these terrible performances. If they dare to do that, they should have the book thrown at them.
I agree, and I understand there are a lot of let's just call them inconsistent players or everything. You might argue
consistently
terrible. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like most, with the exception of the sort of last 18 months, last 2 years of Roberto Martinez, I'm not sure anyone's got less out of these players than Benitez, because they just don't seem to be able to stick to any sort of game plan. They got a result against Chelsea, and that's full credit to them. Before that, Gray scored a worldie against Arsenal. I don't think we're set up very well, and that's a worry, because the one thing we were told when we got Benitez would be it set us up very well. And yeah, we've had all the bad stuff with the good stuff not even being anywhere to be seen. So yeah, it's a bit of a worry for me.
Yeah, I mean, I do find that like quite concerning. Like you say, I was expecting to be quite defensively solid this season, but we leaked goals from set pieces. I mean, I wasn't surprised about that because I remember Liverpool fans who are now berating his set piece tactics in 2009.
Yeah, yeah. I think I expected us to be solid, not because I thought he was the Messiah or anything, but I thought it wouldn't have been that difficult because we would come off the back of a season where we were at least solid. And so to keep a team solid from a team that was already solid should not be that difficult.
You say that, but look at what Roberto Martinez managed.
Yeah. But even he, for a year, managed to keep it solid.
Yeah, exactly. I think.
And plus, he was always a gun goal manager. So I always had that risk attached to it. But with Benitez, it's not like he's even gun go, and he leaves us that possibility to be open. He's not. He's not even. If he's not doing Bielsa where he's throwing everything at his team and conceding five. He's still trying to be cautious, but we're still not reaping the rewards from it. And I take that into. I don't know whether to take that Chelsea game as the exception or the rule because in some ways it feels like this season very much the exception, and a betting man would fully expect Everton to revert to type in Newcastle. And
Yeah, it seems like
that,
we have put in some decent like defensive displays against the better sides. We saw it against Spurs as well. Like it just
yes, yeah, Spurs, yeah.
just always like when we come up against a side you would expect it to attack against, I think we just seem to fall apart.
In some ways, this game's bigger than it actually seems because it, it can make sure the season goes one of two ways. It can set us up to a good second half of the season. You've just drew with Chelsea, you beat Newcastle, and you've got the cup coming up. I think after that, you just keep it rolling, or you lose it, and then you suddenly got a banana skin of a tie away to Holland, yeah, in the FA Cup third round, which absolutely no one wants to go to, and then that's up in the end. Then
You lose, we
it could
lose
go
we
for
lose to Newcastle on Thursday, and Newcastle are now them just 4 points behind us, I think.
probably.
Yeah.
If we lose to Newcastle, that would mean um, Burnley would have 3 games in hand on us, 3 or 4 games, 3 games in hand on us, and I think they're about 4 or 5 points behind us.
Yeah, they are, and but also like
That's a concern.
Newcastle will probably improve the team, like you say, in January, and then all of a sudden you're looking at serious trouble. Like,
Yeah, because they've got the games in hand and the know-how in this situation, and Newcastle have got a blank check to get them out of it. So then you're relying on Leeds to continue to slip, and maybe other teams in and around it, to Watford maybe to slip, and yeah, it's not good. I fully expect Norwich to go. So
yeah, I agree with that, but still worry about us in terms of what,
but
like you
it's no
say, I
good if
think,
Norwich go as well.
yeah, I worry about how much he's getting out of the players is a good way of putting it, like you said. I think he could definitely get more out of these players. There's no doubt about that.
But you could argue he's not getting anything out of them because they're all falling out with him. So it, it's it's not looking good for him because at least if he, I can't say he doesn't have the players with him because that Chelsea game proved at the very least there's 11 players within the team that are willing to run through a brick wall. But again, I keep coming back to this game as, but at Palace a few days before, we were an absolute joke. There was not even like a base level of effort against Palace. I literally don't think we tried to even put an effort in against Palace because it was just so poor and lethargic.
Lazy. It was lazy.
That's what a good word. I'm not sure I've heard that being attached to the Palace game, where I think it was a lazy performance. I think apart from a brief sort of 5 or so minutes after we scored a bit of a tap in, we didn't even give it a go for the whole game to be competitive. It was really poor, and then
I've seen
it was
too many lazy performances this season.
yeah.
I think Brentford's was a lazy
Watford,
performance.
Watford last 10 minutes was a sackable offence. Not for just Benitez, the whole sort of playing squad, because they down tools for 10 minutes in the game. They were 2-1 up in and had absolutely no right to down tools in. Brentford's another one. There's been a few of
Wolves, I
them.
think Wolves barring like
Yeah,
after we scored the goal. I think lazy again. I don't think there was enough effort being shown.
yeah, I totally agree. I think the derby, maybe were they just too good, or do I think we were going through the motions a bit in that? I think there was certainly
Bit
a
of both.
time. I certainly don't think we gave her our all
No,
from the cup before one. Man City, I disagree slightly with people on the Man City one. I think we did try to stick to some sort of game plan. I just don't think it was effective enough once Gray came off and the wheel sort of came off. So I don't know. I think this is a bit of a turning point in this game, because if we lose it, we're bang in trouble.
yeah, I think it's. I do worry about, like you say, how much those players not the best at Newcastle, but are they more willing to scrap than we are? That's what concerns me.
Well, history would prove not, due to how they played this season. But that being said, I think the quite are they willing to scrap more than we are?
Probably.
Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
they
So
gave it an all right go against United.
yeah, they did, but that's caveated by one of the worst Man United performances I've ever seen in my life. It was quite fun, actually. But I don't know. I'm quite worried about this game due to the consequences if we get beat, because I can't, I couldn't sit here after the game and tell you we wouldn't be in a relegation battle if we got beat.
We absolutely are in a relegation battle if we get beat. There's no doubt
Because
about that.
a team who are very poor and barely scraped together a few points would be a matter of points behind us, and another team that will have about 4 games in hand on us. So it's concerning. Plus, you've got other teams in the mix who would seemingly give her a better go than us in a relegation battle. So it's a big. If we scrape a win here through any means, it would mean the world, because of the comfort it would give a lot of people for the football club.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, if we I think we lose to Newcastle, I think we will be relegated. We
Yeah,
deserve to be relegated if we lose.
oh, definitely, because there would be no defence of it. So you couldn't defend getting beat to Newcastle. Not our home anyway.
Not at all.
We
There's no justification for that. You can't even say,
we
oh,
mu-
well, they've spent a couple of quid because they haven't yet.
I know. It's not like yeah. Oh, it's not like it's one of the first games with the takeover and they're just buzzing and they come out like the Harlem Globetrotters. It's a team that's in a bit of a malaise with a big pot of money in the distance that they're not quite at yet.
Exactly. So it's imperative that we win this game. There's no
But
doubt about that.
another side factor is there will be fans at the game unless the government outperform themselves again with yet another U-turn. Then we will have a full Goodison for this game at least.
That's going to be crucial, but only if the players can be bothered.
Because imagine if we lose this game and then we're behind closed doors for the rest of the season, it's squeaky bum time, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, we saw how badly we performed at home with no fans. So
Yeah, in a moderately decent season, in a poor season with no fans, it can just the whole situation could get away from us.
yeah, I think if we lose, the fans should rightly be up in arms.
Yeah,
Rafa
I think
Benitez should be in the job 10 to come New Year's Day.
definitely. But he should have been a few weeks ago. I had my kind of way, but he isn't, and he
He'd
needs
never
the
have left
result.
the job centre if you had your.
No, but he's got a chance here to win and make everyone's lives a little bit more comfortable.
Right, well, he needs to do it in terms of the personnel. We're still a bit
Time left the clock here.
short
'Cause
supply.
I don't even know who would have been available for the Burnley game. So that's a bit concerning because I don't know who we've got available. So unless Rafa Benitez comes out and tells us, which I don't think he's going to do because that'll only put an advantage on Newcastle, then it's save it now before, isn't it?
Definitely, I think it's one of those. It has its ups and downs. Like the unknown quantity element of it, could surprise people. But
Yeah, but it's not like it's going to be 11 completely new players we've never seen before and they're going to be well.
I wish it would be.
It'll be a Wobie and a split striker or something.
God, a
Wobie and Rondon to go through the trenches with you.
I can't. I wasn't looking forward to this game anyway. But bloody hell, just when you remember that them two play for us.
Hopefully they're too. No, I'm not going to say that, but hopefully they're not available.
We'll wait and see. But I just hope that we see some fresh people in there. Like I think some more of the kids wouldn't do any harm. I don't think because they turned up and did well against Chelsea.
Well, I think if there's yeah, but again, is that the exception of the rule? I've said that a lot, but I'd throw Gordon and he'd be definitely starting for me.
Brantwaite should be.
I'd start Brantwaite, yeah, Gordon and Dobbin. They'd be the three out of the whole system. I'd be starting. The rest, don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have Sims over Rondon.
Now I'd go Dobbin.
Is Dobbin big enough to sort of lead the line on his own?
I think he did a very good job of it the last 20 against Chelsea.
Well, you never know. Maybe then. But
I think he did a bit better than what Sims did, but could play them both together. Maybe they could strike up some sort of relationship that can sort of, by some sort of luck, drag us through the mill.
I reminded like at one point under Moyes when everyone was injured, we had Anachibi and Vaughan and they were both like 17 playing up top together.
Velios off the bench, last 15. He's together, he's done everything.
Velios, bloody hell.
Swing a brick at him and he'll take it away.
Class. I'm not going to lie, I don't have some of those bang average players that we had in the past because at least he had a bit of graft in them.
Average players would run around a bit.
That's it, exactly. Even Strachwell he'd like throw his weight around.
At least the difference between him and I can't say Rondon hasn't at least give her a go in the games in the last sort of segment, but he's still not anywhere near good enough, is he? But again, is he going to be the one who's going to play it? I don't know. I hope Gray's available because that would be a big boost.
Yeah, definitely. I think
we'd win the game if he plays.
Yeah, I'm hoping whatever team comes out that there is enough there to get us over the line because, like you say, we need to win this game. Otherwise, we're right in the mire.
And it's not impossible that we do win because like I've said, they've only won one game all season and have played 19 games now. Even though we've been terrible, our levels are terrible. Have still not reached anything near their level, so we still should have enough to win this game.
Oh, fingers crossed! But yeah,
we haven't played for about 2 weeks, so we shouldn't be tired, should we?
Yeah. Now you just got to worry about are they sharp enough because they've probably been sitting on their arses for the past week.
No, definitely they've been on the Baileys, haven't they? They've not been preparing themselves for this at all, have they? This is if the game's on. I mean, this could be completely academic. come about a day's time.
Well, it's definitely not beyond the realms of possibility. Not like you say, there's a lot of cases in our team, and there's a lot of
Is there
potential
also a lot
grounds.
of injuries there are a lot of injuries, and has Rafa been drawing the so-called lines on the old lateral flows?
Yeah, Rafa Benitez has definitely had like a coloured pencil, hasn't he?
100%. Yeah, I'm not
There's
saying
really any
number.
excuse not to play kids. But in terms of the team, like we've got obviously got a couple of like senior players. I think Takore being back is a boost.
Yeah, well, that's if he's available. I've not heard
We
otherwise.
don't know. We don't know who's like you say, who's clear, who's positive, who's whatever.
Who's even not injured would be a star, wouldn't it? I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin be back.
Yeah, he's been training again, but
Yeah, so
here we go. We're gonna try and have it.
did Gray have COVID for not playing against Chelsea, or was he just injured and Rafa was swapping the players off for Leicester? Do you think?
I don't know. Like honestly, I don't know who's telling the truth, who's talking wham. I don't know who's got COVID, who's injured, who's
You just
off on
can't
the
be bothered
jollies, who's
with
got
the team.
Luca Dean's probably got his suitcase packed.
He just can't be bothered, can he? I mean, you can't blame him. I wouldn't be either. But
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't want to play for him.
no, I'd want to play for Everton, so I'd play anyway.
Yeah, to be fair, I would for Everton, but
He's not an Everton fan, so I can't level that, can I?
yeah, I won't get it like a graph for Everton, but imagine him being your manager. Just
Yeah, yeah. But even still, he's been paid by the football club to play. So if he's refusing to play, then that's a huge show of lack of professionalism for me. And if I was a club, I wouldn't be buying him.
yeah, well, I agree with that. To be honest, I think it's evident that like that he hasn't got the stomach for the fight, regardless of.
No, I've seen a lot of evidence of that.
I know I've seen guys.
He's
He's
a good player, don't
a
get me
very
wrong.
talented player, but he's not a major grafter. He's not
We
gonna.
have seen that.
Yeah, he's not gonna throw his weight around.
No.
I think if a good offer comes in and we can like I say, I think we've already pretty much announced this Mikalenko. I think it's just literally we need to announce it, but it looks pretty much like a done deal. So if we can get a profit on that, there's a bit of funds in the bank, bring a few like new faces in either this window or in the summer. It's just there's a bit of promise there. I think we're doing the right thing, in my opinion. I know not everyone will agree, but selling a 28-year-old and replacing them with a 22, 23-year-old is business, especially if you're turning a profit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not vehemently against it. So if that's what we've got to do, we've got to do it. Regardless of whether Benitez is here or not. I don't want to play in the team who says they're sick and isn't willing to play, no matter who's the manager. So if we get a good offer for him, then see you later.
Indeed. And then, like you say, like come the 1st of Jan, hopefully we might have this Blanco ready to step in, or like at least make some sporadic appearances till he settles in.
If we can play that to start.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. What's the COVID statistics in Ukraine at the moment?
I'm not sure how much Omicron's took a hold in Ukraine, but I can't imagine that the government's making a bigger pig's ear of it than ours. So,
well,
they're already one of.
There we go. Yeah, get him signed up then. I mean, Nicola Sturgeon's done a better job than RPM has, so get Nick Patterson in while you're at it as well.
Well, let's not go into that.
Yeah, we'll fingers crossed. We'll soon have a few new faces in because we need.
Get Ian Holloway in.
Oh God, yeah.
What a laugh that would be.
Oh,
And that would be a genuine laugh, not like an evil sort of facade of a laugh with a roughly air doing a laugh to put everyone off the sort of psychopath traits the man has. But Ian Holloway genuinely would be a good laugh.
no, it would be overlapping goalkeepers.
Yeah, we'd overlapping Secretary of State of Education to get him in as Prime Minister.
Honestly, God, he'd have like overlapping fan from row 4.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I'd love that. I think I'll never lose the sight of Ian Evatt running down the left wing. The one-footed, right-footed centre back whipping crosses in.
Was he an innovator like Bielsa is? You know, so is it good PR?
Makes you wonder. Like, I mean, Bielsa, I actually think he's pretty decent, but I think he's had bad luck this season. I still think he's got flaws that like people for some reason just sugarcoat, but he is good.
Yeah, but he's also not. Let's end it there.
I mean, it's one of them. As long as we finish above them, I'm literally
Yeah.
At this stage, mate. I'm not even messing. I'd take 17th.
I would if you would say we'll stay up and we start again and do things properly. Yeah, I'll take that.
To be fair, I'm just waiting for the day Benitez leaves now. When that'll be, I've no idea.
There's all caveats on who replaces him though, because if Bob Bradley comes in or someone like that as his replacement, then we're arguably just kicking the can down the road a bit further.
Been kicking the can down the road ever since boys left, mate.
I know.
Let's go and get Martinez back. That'll keep us up.
I've given it a go with 5 games to go, like he did with Wigan somehow, until the last year stayed up.
I don't know how he always seemed to be like 19th or 20th until and then they just scrape out of it every season.
He only turned up in May. I'm telling you.
It's probably one of them.
Results against Man U and Liverpool, and then they'd win a few other games and they'd just stay up, and you'd be like, "Ow."
I think it is. It must have just been like it's the Spanish in him. It's just when the weather's a bit better, they play a bit better. Like the Christmas period's not for him.
No, to be fair to him, no. I never heard him moan about it, like some at the moment.
No, I was actually going to touch on that. Like the top 3 managers have all been having a moan, haven't they? The last couple of days about the fixture congestion.
Not forgetting our good old friend Ralph from Man United, who's been here 5 minutes and wants to change the face of the game.
That sounds about right.
He needs to get in his box. He needs to shut because he's an interim manager. An interim manager I wouldn't bother keeping, but that's a different argument for another day.
Not a fan of his then?
No, let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think moaning about the fixture congestion is it's starting to tip me off a bit. I mean, I think at the moment, maybe with COVID, I can understand maybe given a bit of leeway, but traditionally it's always been the way it's been.
Well, it's just another. They want the games to be off to suit the bigger teams who the bigger squad. And they want 5 substitutes now. And once you give them 5, they'll want 8 substitutes. And once you give them 8, they'll want 11 substitutes. It's the way they work. They're never happy. They always want more.
No, that's the thing. I'm not completely against 5 subs.
Well, for us, I am.
Well, yeah, because we haven't got 5 subs to name.
Exactly. And Liverpool would have a full bench name against us, and we would get beat heavily even more with the fresh leg. So I am against 5 subs. But you see, Klopp had her in last year for Chris Wilder to have the temerity to say we're not having 5 subs at Sheffield United because we haven't got 5 substitutes to name who will come on. It's Sean Dyche's turn this year. He's having a go at. They don't have 10 players on international break. So that means they should just let us do what we want because we are gay players of so many games. We need so many substitutes, and to help to what your club needs, as long as we're all right. Yeah.
I've noticed that the managers who put the teeth in lower leagues all seem to be a lot more understanding and pragmatic about the Christmas period. It seems to be the elite managers who, like you say, want to change the game.
They shouldn't be allowed to because it's always been the same. The fact that they've been here 5 minutes, I want to change the face of the game. It is very pathetic.
Yeah, it's one of them. I think it's one of them. It's always been about the fans. I think this period is like fans find it easy to get games during the time off. I think
another reason is because of the TV deals dictate that there has to be a round of fixtures during this period, which the players and the managers are the beneficiaries of. So they're the beneficiaries of that. They're the beneficiaries of Amazon having an extra game on the 28th and BT on the 1st or whatever. They're the beneficiaries. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have the benefits of a packed schedule with the TV deal and then moan you're playing too many games.
That's it. Like you say, I think their salary increases are probably coming from these improved TV deals, and the TV companies know that they're going to get better ratings at Christmas time because people are off work.
I would play 3 games in a week, or a bit shorter than a week for Klopp's salary, no chance, all day long. So don't moan about it, and then also reap the upsides of it. So
I think Klopp, Guardiola, those sort of teams, and like how good the football is they play, like it's high intensity. Is it the high intensity? Do you think that sort of burning their players out when they have to play these extra games? I reckon that probably plays a part.
Possibly, but then it's their job to sort of tweak that and make sure that the players can cope.
Exactly, that's what our manager does.
They spent enough money.
Yeah, I mean, but like you say, as a manager, that falls under the responsibilities of the manager.
You don't hear Dean Smith or Sean Dyche or Eddie Howe or anything moan about 3 games in a week with the size of the squads they've got.
I mean, in fairness, Eddie Howe did say something.
Oh, did he? Well, yeah.
Said,
but he's another one.
Saying Newcastle are dangerously close to being unable to field a team. But to be fair, they've had injuries.
Have they fielded a team all season? My question.
Don't say that. They're going to go on beat us now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll finish up here anyway. We're getting sidetracked by debates and Ian Holloway again. So we'll.
He manages to rear his head into every single one of these.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, like you say, it brings the entertainment.
It does. He's a good laugh, if nothing else.
Nothing else. I mean, by God, we could all use one. But we'll finish up anyway. Prediction for Everton versus Newcastle.
I think we'll win 2-1.
2-1. I'm going to go for a little bit uglier. I say we'll win 1-0.
Take it.
So you have it, guys.
Take 1-0 and then it's Lascelles' head and goes in.
What, and Calvert-Lewin goes up to him and does that Brett thing he did to him like the other year. I mean,
funny.
He needs some sort of enjoyment out of football, so fingers crossed this is an unexpected. I say unexpected, we should be winning it, but I don't expect anything at the moment.
Expect the unexpected. Well, the expected depends how you look at it.
Indeed. There you have it, guys. We've both gone for a win. Let us know your predictions in the run up to Everton versus Newcastle. Drop us a comment below. Give this video a like. Subscribe for more content. Hope you've all had a Merry Christmas and enjoy your time off. And hopefully Everton make a decent festive period for us because, by God, we all deserve it after the year we've had and the season we've had so far. So, yeah, hopefully it's onwards and upwards. We'll see how we get on. Until then, guys, thanks for watching on the Toffee Blues. We'll see you soon.